Welcome back. India denounced China's move to block a proposal at the UN to designate Pakistan-based elite terrorist Sajid Mir as a global terrorist. Remember, he is wanted for his involvement in the 26/11 Mumbai terror attacks, and in a sharply worded statement, India said if the proposal to blacklist the terrorist did not get through despite US and others backing it, we have the righteous reasons to believe that something is genuinely wrong with the global counter-terrorism architecture. India also asserted that if we cannot get established terrorists banned across global landscapes prescribed by the UN for petty geopolitical interests, then really we do not have the genuine political will and sincerity to fight the challenge of terrorism. My colleague Pradeep Datta joining us live on the broadcast on this big story. Pradeep, as far as India is concerned, India has denounced China on a global stage, openly calling out China for deliberately and again and repeatedly blocking proposals at the UN to designate Pakistan-based elite terrorists, not just Sajid Mir and others also, as we've seen in the past, to get them proscribed.
Yes, you're absolutely right. A very strongly worded statement that has come from the Indian side. India has made it clear after China blocked India and US proposal to designate Sajid Mir, 26/11 plotter, as globally designated terrorist. India said that this shows that for petty geopolitical interests, that genuinely we are not taking stand to fight against terror-related mechanism. So he said that there is something really wrong with the counter-terror architecture. A reason is obvious. Once again, it's really unfortunate that China is trying to shield terrorists who is responsible for more than 160 deaths. Sajid Mir is a senior Lashkar-e-Taiba terrorist. He was not only planner, plotter, but executor of Mumbai attack, in which more than 165 lives were lost. And he was the one who had ensured that these 9 terrorists who were sent from Karachi to Mumbai, that they are able to carry out this attack on the India's financial capital. And this is not first time when China has tried to block these terrorists. We have seen this thing happening in case of Masood Azhar also. Last year also when Azhar, the brother of Masood Azhar, that time also when the proposal was moved by United States as well as India, that time also the China had tried to block. In this particular case also, when US moved the proposal that was co-designated by India under 1267 Al-Qaeda Sanctions Committee, this time China blocked this proposal. Now the question is being asked, he's a well-established terrorist, and how come you block this terrorist from being globally designated as a terrorist? Because when you globally designate somebody as a terrorist, that means you are going to freeze his assets, his bank account, there will be embargo on arms and his movement also. But here in this case, we have seen that every time China is the all-weather friend because of its petty geopolitical interest, is not only shielding Pakistan but also shielding these terrorists who had been enemy of humanity, responsible for barbaric, gruesome act of terror across the world. Because this man carries a bounty of about $5 billion US on his head, and he is involved in several terror-related activities. Initially, Pakistan was trying to hoodwink the world and trying to befool them by saying that he's dead. But the world was not convinced. And finally, last year, Pakistan was left with no other option but to arrest this man in the month of June. Reason was that Financial Action Task Force was not convinced with the action being initiated by the Pakistan against terrorists. So they wanted that this was the sticking point. Finally, Pakistan had no other option but to arrest him. But now you can see how China is trying to block these terrorists from being designated as global terrorists. That way, they're shielding them.
Right, and as you rightly said, as far as India is concerned, this is one of the most strongly worded statements which we've seen now from the side of the country. In fact,